life as an overpowered prince to life as a vending machine. This summer season's isekai anime isn't as strong as seasons past, with there only being 5 new isekais added this season, with this season being dominated mainly by fantasy or romance. I wanted to bring light to these isekais. Starting with Staples Entertainment's Am I Actually the Strongest? Which I was excited to check out because I only know this studio for its etchy focus, with its latest work being Vermeil in the Gold last year. Though this one is not an etchy, there is plenty of fan service presented. Focusing back, we follow our main character, Haruto, as he's reincarnated into a fantasy world. Speed running the entire Isekai process lowers it a bit for me. However, he begins life as a baby but is quickly abandoned due to his lack of magic power. Though it is later established that his power level is in the quadruple digits and their scales only go into the double digit, which causes a lot of confusion. Though it isn't a comedy, one can't help but laugh while they enjoy this series, from its corny antics to its embarrassing parodies. This anime is average and I enjoyed the first few episodes. However, I felt the storytelling was lazy at times, quickly progressing from one thing to the next without proper explanation. The power system didn't really make sense. Also, the baby being able to use magic immediately without being taught or having to study is a bit annoying, but if you are more interested in the casual viewing rather than looking for the next great thing, I am sure you will enjoy it, especially if you make it to episode 4 and 5, then this one will be in the average under possible recommendation. Next is one I personally was looking forward to, Synergy SP's Sweet Reincarnation. You might recognize this studio for its work in Major. As someone who loves slice of life isekai animes where the focus is more on simple daily life, seemed to catch my eye. Pastry, a name fitting for a genius pastry stuff, is set to become the new lord with a bright future as he not only is a genius in the kitchen, but also is a genius in the field of magic. I will be giving this one props with its unique way to obtain magic, so that it makes sense why many don't have it or desire to go through this process. However, for a supposed slice of life chill anime, it does start with quite a bit of action, but that's needed to create the perfect land of sweets. The world building is in full effect, causing the story to progress slower than anticipated, which is the opposite of the anime we just reviewed. 4 episodes in, and we haven't seen much baking due to the lack of resources or funds, but the day to day life has been enjoyable to watch. So I will have this in the average tier as a would recommend. I've already caught up in the manga on this one. However, the manga stopped updating as of last year as they tended to focus more on the light novel. So if this one does catch your eye, I would recommend jumping into the light novel because it is really good. Next, we will discuss Yokohama Animation Lab's latest work, The Great Cleric, a story following Lucio, a former salaryman turned healer. Only problem is he's born into a country that seems to hate healers due to the most being corrupt and abusing their power and authority to charge ridiculous sums of money, which prevent many from being able to be treated or forcing them to go into debt. Lucio is determined to change the opinions about healers and vows never to become a few episodes in, and we've seen the toes the corrupted healers have left. This one seems to be an odd watch, and just like Sweet Reincarnation, I will be monitoring this one closely. I will place this one in average tier as well as a would recommend. Next, we have a studio known for their fantasy and isekai projects, Maho Film. In their latest adaptation of My Unique Skill Makes Me OP, even at level 1. Just as the name hints at, this is a unique anime following another salaryman, Sato, who receives a broken drop skill that allows him to receive all the best drops. However, he has an extremely low stats, so he is OP, but weak, broken character. It is hilarious watching him struggle to kill even the weakest monsters. However, he eventually finds a way to level up his stats without making his actual level go up. This one is sort of all over the place as we follow Sato as he travels from dungeon to level up while steadily building up his harem. At the same time, even though this isn't a harem anime, there are only a couple episodes out currently, but honestly speaking, this will be an average tier, but as a possible recommend, only if you're into isekais. However, I wouldn't, I won't be continuing on with this one, but if you are into isekais, I can see why you would. The next new isekai for this season is Studio Gokumi and AXCZ's collaborated effort for Reborn as a Vending Machine. I now wander the dungeon. the anime that many of you have been looking forward to. Following Hakon, who was isekai'd into a vending machine, while he can still hear and see, there's no way for him to move by himself or speak more than his program phrases. He is eventually rescued by a blonde-haired hunter who decides to travel alongside him due to feeling lonely and her interest in his unique snacks and drinks. I do wish, however, that the vending machine was able to properly communicate. However, and I wish he was a little bit less of a burden and was able to repay Lamus with a portion of the money he earns, especially since it's due to her that he's able to earn and survive in the first place. With only 2 episodes out as of this recording, with the third coming out today, well, yesterday now, there's really not many positives to say about this one other than it did live up to the hype so far, I guess. There are things that may be added later that I believe could improve the show, such as an ability similar to campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skills, where the food gives a boost in magical power, or as mentioned before, if he learns to speak properly or be able to become independent. But at the same time, that would take away his meme ability. So it's a slippery slope. Either way, it's an average anime that's borderline below average, depending on who you ask. But this is one I'd skip for the season unless you are into the memes or really want to see it all the way through. And then lastly, we have our only returning isekai, Mushoku Tensei Season 2. Following our post-heir's departure, where she leaves Rudy to go on her own journey to get stronger to one day protect him, not understanding the true message behind her message, which is understandable because Air struggles with communication, especially when it comes to Rudy. Depressed and now struggling with ED, we get to have some solo time for Rudy, as well as seeing new and old characters return during this upcoming school arc, which, side note, was my favorite arc. But with that, I want to thank you all for tuning into another episode of The Ath Geeks. Please like and subscribe. And always, always, always remember to respect your anime, but most importantly, remember to respect yourself. And we're out.